It is Tuesday, November 18th in the Explorer's Den with Richie Tar, Brown Holland. Richie, snowing up here. Some 2 hour delays, baby, but Nova on tap tonight. But the most important thing we need to talk about right now, I need to congratulate you today. 37 years of marriage to you and your lovely bride, brother.
Thank you, Bron. Didn't expect you to bring that up, but yeah, listen. Hey, one of my greatest achievements in life, actually.
And she should be in the Hall of Fame for putting up with you, as should my wife. So we give them credit as always.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, that's
Thank you.
that's
Thank you.
huge. So, all right, first things first, we need to talk about Penn State. They beat us on Saturday, 83-69. Rock and Darius after the game said he thought that the shooting turnovers were the difference in the game.
Well, what he means by that is taking bad shots is equivalent to a turnover. Um, I would just add a couple of things that I see on LaSalle regarding their offense. They're not efficient enough. Oftentimes, they what I call pass without purpose. Yes, they're moving the basketball, throwing around a horn, but I don't see tons of movement. I watched Monmouth last night against Syracuse. I don't know if you watched that game, but literally Monmouth took a three at the end to tie it. But they had great movement on their offense, and guys just get open with movement. Um, we don't shoot the ball well enough from three when we're guarded. Okay. And I think we're getting into this slow paced half court offense where teams can guard us. Okay. Uh, when you play like that, in my opinion, you almost have to play perfect. And therefore, I would like to see LaSalle push the ball up the floor. Even after a made basket, it's important. Part of that problem is we can't get stops. In order to push the ball, you want to get stops, but you can still push the ball even after a made basket. And one of the things I like about pushing the ball up the floor is I think it creates opportunities and more open shots for your guys. We're not a bad three-point shooting team when we're open, but
Yeah,
when we're guarded, we're not very good.
yeah, you're right. And certainly, the good news is we're only 4 games in, and as G told us, you just got to keep improving on the things that you work on, and you want to be good at every day. And one of those things, Rock, and we'll detail a little bit more later about us, but one of the positives was freshman guard Ashton Walker, who continues to impress. But I want you to speak as a former point guard about the difficulties as a true freshman coming in, handling academics and everything, plus the role of being the point guard.
Well, you sent me an article last night that I read, and Coach Nichols was interviewed, and he was talking about Ashton and how happy he is with his progress. And he said, I had to think back to when I was a freshman and the difficulties that I faced. And man, that hit me like a ton of bricks because I started my first 5 games for LaSalle at point guard, and it was a disaster.
Hey,
I
it's never as bad as we thought it was, and it was never as good. So I'm sure it was
Well,
not a
well, listen,
disaster.
no, I think it was as bad. So I keep in mind here, I had a stacked team. I had a guy named Steve Black who scored over 2,000 points.
Who
Ralph
we're
Lewis,
gonna have on the show, by the way.
that's
Go on.
right. Ralph Lewis, who played in the NBA, and Albert Truck Butts. And I came into the guy. I can just remember we were out at Stanford, and I think the first 3 possessions, I shot 2 of the 3 possessions. You know, just and at one point there was a timeout, and Albert Butts goes to Lefty. He goes, Lefty, get him out the game. And I proceeded to come out the game. But it was very difficult for me, and the blessing in my success ended up being Coach Bill Speedy Morris, who showed a tremendous amount of patience and confidence in me and allowed me to. The biggest thing, and we talk about too, and I don't want to be too winded here, but different philosophies in coaching. Coach Darius Nichols, Coach Dunphy, I looked at Jay Wright over the years. They believe, your player makes a mistake, you bring them out. My career would have been nothing if I was coached like that. Coach Morris allowed me to play through my mistakes. Now, Part of that was is because we didn't have a deep bench. Okay, in fairness to the situation, but I would have never become the player I became if I was yanked in and out the game. Just wasn't my personality. Would not have worked. Would have been a disaster. So, the difficult. Ashton Walker's doing a great job. Sometimes gets caught up in over penetrating. I'd like to see him stop and shoot that mid range jumper at times. Um, but overall, he's been a bright light for LaSalle.
Love to see what he's doing. And Speedy Morris was not the only one to notice your potential, Rock. We got to share this with the Explorer fans. I know you probably don't want to, but after the game, Coach Rhodes uh, finished the press conference for the Nittany Lions, and you were standing there, and you were going to go up, introduce yourself, and he turned. He said, "I know who you are. You're Richie Tarr, one of the greatest players ever come out of the coal region." And I think that's great for Explorer fans to hear, how good you were, how good we were back then. But that had to make you feel good, man.
Yeah, it made me feel great to be honest with you. Because look, you're getting older, and a lot of that has come and gone.
And
He
your
also
kids
added,
and your grandkids don't want to hear about your stories.
well, well, fortunately for me, my grandkids are into basketball, so they actually do listen to me at least for now. But one of the other things that Coach Rhodes said, and this is the part that blew me away. He said, "My dad used to drive me to your games in high school so I could watch you play," and that just kind of floored me. It really made me think about the impact that basketball has played in my life. And I say this to all the players currently out there playing basketball. 1% of you are going to get a chance to go to the next level and play either overseas or in the NBA.
Yeah.
What you're currently doing right now is you're setting yourself up for success through basketball. I'm 61 years old now, and I'm telling you, several times a month, it still comes up where somebody references me playing basketball, and I'm just grateful that my life has turned out that way.
It's just amazing. You always hear coaches talk about it, but the relationships created through basketball are just invaluable, and that is just a tremendous story. And I could tell in your voice how thrilled you were afterward, and that's great. That's just a where share a couple of the other things that Coach Rhodes said in the press
So
conference.
well, this was actually in an article. He was interviewed in an article after the game. The article was written about Coach Nichols, but a couple things he said that I really like. He said, referring to LaSalle, they play hard and together, and I noticed how coachable they are. Tip your hat to Coach Darius Nichols for that. And then he said, stick to your core values and stick to loving your kids. That's how you build a program.
Tremendous, profound, and again, he's won everywhere he's been, and I think he's gained two fans in us, Richie, after last Saturday.
Well,
Uh,
he's certainly one of the top college basketball coaches in America. Um, and, he understands what Coach Nichols is going through right now. He commented on that. He went through it. He's going through it at Penn State. The thing I'll say about him in terms of the game against LaSalle, a couple things. One, seven freshmen on his team. And unfortunately for LaSalle, they looked um, yeah, and played like they weren't freshmen.
yeah,
They looked more mature. The way they moved the ball on offense, their ability to shoot, they played good team defense. And I thought the one play that spoke volumes about Coach Mike Rhodes and his team in preparation is the ball went into our post uh, at one point, and we started to double team. And just looking to see here, it went into
I
Daniels.
was in Ed. I was sitting right there, underneath the
Yeah,
basket.
it went into Daniels, and my first thought was, why are you double teaming him? and then they double teamed him and he turned it over. He was double teaming him because he either picked up on film that he couldn't pass out of the double team or wasn't a good passer, or he was going to test and see if he could pass out of the double team. Great coaching, well prepared, just does a really nice job.
Hopefully Nova's not watching that little tip we just gave away there. But I thought
Trust
the sa-
me, trust me, they're Braun. They're 3 steps ahead of us.
they, at least. Yeah, they doubled the post 3 or 4 times. I was sitting by Matt Martucci, and I'm like, they're doing it because they want to get turnovers because we're just not used to getting double teamed in the post.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great coaching move. So we have tonight Villanova Wildcats coming into Glacier for the first time, Rock, since 2014. They're 3-1. They're under first-year coach Kevin Willard, and it's a nationally televised game tonight. Should be packed.
It's going to be a great game, great atmosphere. This is the best team we've played so far.
No
Uh,
question.
I mean, they are a team. Although it's funny, if you listen to Coach Willard, I mean, typical coach, he's not happy about a lot of things. But this team, offensively, they play freely, and that's the part that scares me the most. Because I thought the first 5 minutes of the Penn State case, our guys played tight. We had a new lineup in there, and we played like we were trying not to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And these guys play free. I mean, when you look at Bryce Lindsey, this guy will pull up from the hash mark. I mean, he can shoot the basketball.
We played with a couple guys like that, Rock.
Well, we did, but they're very good. They play team basketball. Their points to assist ratio are right there. I mean, they're making baskets because they're setting up their teammates and getting assists doing it. They're going to be tough to play tonight.
Be very difficult to play. They lead the Big East in 3-point shooting with 11 a game, which we talked about. Good teams want to make between 8 and 12. They average 11 first in the Big East, and they have 5 players averaging double digits, which is going to make them extremely difficult to cover. So we already mentioned Bryce Lindsey a little bit. He's averaging 23 points per game. First in the Big East. Let's talk about Duke Brennan, Rock.
Yeah, big guy on the inside, can finish with either hand, rebounds the heck out of the basketball, and unlike a lot of big players today, he's not looking to step 15 feet away from the basket and shoot the basketball. He wants to be inside. He's a banger, loves the contact.
And first in the nation in rebounding. When we filmed the show and checked the stats, these were accurate. So at the time, he was first in the nation at 14.8 boards a game. So I cannot wait to watch him play tonight. And then the last player we'll highlight is Acadian Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis, he comes in very high stock, very big recruit. As a freshman, he's leading this team in assists. Very talented player, can get to the basket, can pull up. He's responsible for setting the tone, as we talked about Ashton Walker, and he's doing a great job of running the Villanova basketball team right now.
And he was Big East Freshman of the Week, and as you said, second assist at 5.2 a game, and he's second currently in the Big East. So they have a lot of guys early on in the season up there in the statistical category. So let's get into our keys to victory. Any team is beatable, and we certainly will not show up unless we expect to win, Rock. So I'll put the keys up now. And the first one is obviously rebound.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we got to be physical. You better keep Brennan off the boards. He'll crash the offensive boards. When he does get the ball inside, he's a good passer. But most importantly, LaSalle must control the glass if they have a chance tonight.
Got to control the glass, hold them to one and done, and then when we get the board, look to kick it out and run more, as you alluded to earlier on in the den. Defensively, a couple keys tonight, Rock.
Well, you got to guard your yard. You got to transition defense. You got to get back, ball pressure. You cannot allow the ball to the guy dribbling the ball to turn the corner. Once he turns the corner, help defense must come. Villanova is fantastic at kicking the ball out for three.
We
So
would,
you must control the basketball.
yeah, we would like to avoid yelling help at all costs tonight. If you hear the word help yelled, we're in trouble. Get to the weak side glass and hope for a long rebound. And the last key to victory, offensively, Rock, what do we need to do?
You got to, number one, value the basketball. You cannot turn the basketball over, and you have to take good shots, and at times even pass up the good shot to take a better shot. And I'll add one more. I'll add one more key to this too, because this is how we were raised through Coach Speedy Morris. One of the things he always said, and this is how you learn how to play free as well. Passing up a good shot is the same as taking a bad shot, and you can't pass up good shots.
Especially, a lot of times early in the shot clock in transition, as you said, is the best time to get off a shot and in the highest percentage. So cannot wait to get there tonight. It better be packed, better be loud, as we know it will, Rock. And as we always end it, brother.
Go Explorers!